With E3's Microsoft event, we now have our first look at Advanced Warfare, and they're not just changing the time frame that this Call of Duty is set in and advancing that, they're advancing the way this game is played and the mechanics in general. Now, I'm personally a multiplayer guy, a multiplayer YouTube channel in general, so that's kind of what I like to focus on. The campaign can be played a lot of different ways, and that's great. But what is really going to make its way over to the multiplayer, and what are my thoughts on it? Give you guys a view from the mountain here. First off, what's new with this, and how is it changing the gameplay? We have the double jump. This is kind of an incorporation that we've seen from Titanfall where, you know, you start giving more flexibility to where everybody wants to go. We've had this in Halo for 10 years now, being able to get these high jumps and get around to wherever you want to, but Call of Duty is trying to change their way that this game is played, and it's not going to be your COD 4, it's not going to be your Black Ops, your Modern Warfare 3. That's where I think they're actually going to have some problems here. You know, this game was popular because it was a World War II shooter, the Vietnam War era type thing with Black Ops, and you know, you had this kind of feeling of using those same guns and having that Call of Duty experience where it was more war oriented. Now we're going into the future and we're going to be double jumping all over the place, man. We got our jetpacks on, which is totally real, right? No, but this is set in the future, and you know, they are implementing new things. So here's the thing, COD has been stuck, especially with Modern Warfare in my opinion. They're doing very similar things, slightly advancing things. Now they're taking a big step forward, and maybe this is just a test to them, with Sledgehammer taking the reins on this. They worked on Modern Warfare 3, which wasn't my particularly favorite game. Ghost was much worse than that, taking a big step back from Black Ops 2, but Black Ops 2 was so revolutionary in this Call of Duty series, where you had now better kill streaks being implemented, a better kill streak system, and a lot of different things. Now, you can't speculate too much on the multiplayer and how this is going to interact, but you know that they're going to implement this double jump in there because it's just part of the mechanics of this game. I have an extremely strong feeling that's going to happen, and maybe it won't, but based off of the mechanics and how this is being implemented in the into the single player, where you can just jump anywhere without any pickup of special equipment. We've seen this elsewhere in previous trailers. This looks like it's going to be a staple in the game and a new part of this game. On top of that, the next new thing that you saw there was the sound wave type shotgun and the laser sniper, or whatever you want to call that, which we've seen similar versions of in Halo as well as other games, which I won't go into, but it's no longer that same Call of Duty feel like I'm talking about here, and that's what's going to be risky. I've had very low expectations for this game coming out, based off of Ghosts and what they did so wrong there with the large maps, taking people out of that fast-paced action. This could be the opposite, taking it more like Titanfall and getting it into faster-paced action. The only problem that I had with Titanfall was that you always had to be with an ogre. You always had to deal with that in every single map. That's why I get frustrated with the Battlefield when we go into large conquest games, because you're having to deal with vehicles that you just can't deal with sometimes. You want that first-person run-and-gun shooter that's going to be even faster-paced. And by making those larger maps in Ghosts and really isolating a lot of people with these random routes that just don't make any sense, it makes it hard for the regular player to learn it. And that's a constraint. Now we're going to have the double jump, which could throw us off even more. Our classic 3-lane system might go out the window even more with this next COD, especially since it's not going to be Treyarch, which I'm definitely looking forward to that game. But this is where we're at, guys, and you know, my expectations were low, but honestly, I think they've been risen with this capability of being able to double jump, with the variety of weapons that we're going to be able to see. This is not going to be our same COD. They're taking a new step, and they're bringing out a revolutionary game. At least they're going to try for it, and it might flop after a month. People might get sick of it because they are straying away from what was working. But, you know, what they were doing and implementing for new things clearly wasn't working. Things have been going very downhill for Ghosts. Black Ops 2 actually was pretty successful, though. So you know, we'll see what happens once the Treyarch series comes back around, but this is what we've seen so far. You guys are taking a look at some of the gameplay. We've got the double jump. We've got the as well as the new grenade system, which might make it over, where you actually choose which grenade you want to use. Now, the only reason I think this might not is because you're not going to have that fast action, throwing flashbangs, throwing grenades, what you already know and you already choose. This might be a separate grenade that'll be implemented, but we also saw this EMP feature that's no longer EMP, but it actually targets people in red. We've seen this with that grenade, as well as now with that riot shield that actually comes up. It lets you, while it's up, see through the walls and see where people are. Now, this I don't think is going to be implemented. Maybe a version of that grenade that shows you where people are, but very unlikely here for multiplayer implementation. It's too cheap being able to see through walls. For campaign, you have so many people to deal with like that, and you're some miracle soldier that somehow can kill all these people while not having a problem running through it. That's, you know, that's okay. That's going to be implemented, but I don't know if that's really going to make it over to the multiplayer, although a version of that easily could. And because it is so integrated, you saw it with the scope when you're using that sniper, with the riot shield, as well as with the grenade. They've really done a lot of work creating this system, so it very well could be. And looking through the walls has not been something good that's been in the past that people have liked, so I don't know about that. But my overall consensus on the game so far and my predictions about the future for the multiplayer are looking better than I had previously anticipated with this new route. Now, I think for the majority of people, it is going to be a shock and something that they're not necessarily looking forward to because of the fact that people wanted that kind of more realistic war shooter and the fact that things have already happened rather than giant suits and flying and double jumping and things like that. But who knows how this is actually going to be. I'm excited to hear more about the multiplayer. I have higher expectations than before. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Stonemouse64, signing out.